A double amputee Marine was, quote, humiliated by poor treatment on a Delta flight. I've spoken about how I don't fly on Delta Airlines because of their anti-union politics. And this latest story is reinforcing that I do not fly on Delta Airlines. A Marine who lost both of his legs while serving in Afghanistan was humiliated while boarding a Delta Airlines flight. He was clumsily pushed to the back of the plane in a wheelchair, knocking into row after row of seated passengers. Tears were streaming down the face of Marine Lance Corporal Christian Brown when he and his prosthetic legs bumped into multiple passengers despite the best efforts from several veterans on board to move him to first class. In fact, 2 first-class passengers had offered to change seats with Christian Brown. However, the flight attendants insisted that because the door had closed, they were unable to move the wheelchair-bound Brown to first class. Now, Army Colonel Nicky Knighton saw the entire thing unfold, wrote a customer care report to the airline. The airline says they, of course, respect veterans, and they are looking into the incident. Back in December of 2011, Brown was on foot patrol in the Helmand province of Afghanistan, lost both of his legs after stepping on an explosive device. And he was running a high fever. He was trying to get back from a trip to Alabama for injured service members from the Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. And this is just despicable. Of course, we need to see exactly how many of the details are true. However, Lewis, in these cases, when there are so many people on the plane in close quarters who are agreeing with all of the details, it's hard to believe the story would be drastically different. It's very disappointing. I go to pretty significant lengths not to fly on Delta. It's not a huge thing. I'm not calling for a boycott or anything like that. I just don't fly Delta. I want nothing to do with Delta and haven't for a while because of their position on unions. And fortunately, having lived for a while in Western Massachusetts and now in New York City, it's not particularly convenient to fly Delta. I know that in certain parts of the country, if you're in Atlanta or Minneapolis, Cincinnati, you often don't have much of a choice, but I don't fly Delta.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't really actively, I don't know, choose which airlines I'm going to fly on. I end up just picking up whatever flight I find that makes the most sense and has the best timing. But I have flown Delta. You know, it's not like these things are happening on every Delta flight.
No,
but
certainly not. And it's not like the service on Delta is that distinguishable, but it's just a little thing. You know, that's what I do. I would be curious to hear from the audience if anyone else is even aware of Delta's union policy. But certainly this is a despicable incident and just very shameful if it does turn out to be true. It's all alleged right now. Remember that. Okay, coming up next, Carl Gallups. I'm looking forward to this interview. I don't know where this is going to go, but I assume it will be pretty interesting for any number of reasons that you will soon see.